Okay, let's we start the session, and hope I'm audible. And yesterday's session, no, like I'll just show the video of the yesterday's session. If you go to bigdatahandson.com, and if you see the meetup uploads and meetup videos, you should be able to see the old the 2 day session which has happened. Yes, now you can see that the data science part 1 and part 2 sessions has been loaded here. You can see that the data science part 1 and part 2, if you want to click something here, part yesterday's session, then you can click on this, and you can see the yesterday's session. So it is right now, it is little bit slow, internet is slow, I guess. So you can click on this to see the yesterday's session. So yesterday's recording, no, you can see it here, and day before yesterday's recording is here. Part 1, part 2 is here. Now today is the part 3 session, and if there is any doubts, like you can just call a number. So it's 978-988-424 and 9566182384. So you can just WhatsApp this number as well. If you have any doubts or if you want to join our group, no, you can just WhatsApp our number. So now, like we shall continue. Oh, like Irfan, so you can take your screen, like you can just go with the, you can take over the screen, Irfan, like you can continue with the sessions.
Can you make me host?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess from today, no, the session would be 100%, like it will be like 90%, it will be practical. Most of the thing will be covered as a practical approach. Everything will be as practical. Thank you.
So today in this session we will cover the libraries like NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib. The first we will see NumPy libraries. NumPy library is a numerical Python library. It is used to handle the arrays. So n-dimensional arrays you can handle using NumPy, and also usually the mathematical calculations little bit slower, uh, but in NumPy that is very faster here. So first I will show you how to import the NumPy. So we can say like import NumPy and as np is nothing but the alias of the name. And to create an array of NumPy, that is very simple. Let's say a equal to np dot array. That's it. So in array we can give a list of numbers. In that list of numbers it can be multi-dimensional. So if I give 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4, that is a single dimensional. That is we have only one rows, we have the numbers, so it is one dimensional. So let's print the array. So is our array, it's containing the numbers. So I said before, like NumPy is very faster than the list in Python. and also it has less memory. So I will show you that memory size first. And also you can make a two-dimensional array. For creating a two-dimensional array, you need to give this under parenthesis and give another parenthesis. Here we can give multiple values, so like 8. So now this become one row and this become second row. So we have four columns, so in it like 1 2 3 4, four columns and two rows. If I print this, so you can see that, so we have four columns and two rows. It's two-dimensional array. So first let me demonstrate how faster the array is compares to list. So for that I'm going to import another library called sys, and let me create a list here. List, we can make a list using the square brackets. In that square brackets we can give the values. So if you want to get the size of the list, or else I will give a range here to create numbers between 0 to 100, let's say. And uh, and numpy array also we can create arrays with range. How we can create a range? Using the a range. In the a range function we can give three values on start, stop and step. So we can give like 100 itself only one value. So if you give only one value, it will take from 0 to 100. 0 to 100, not 100 it will take. So it will take 100 minus 1, so 99. So if you want to get the size of the list, you can use the sys module. I will print the size of the memory size of the list. So you can use the get size of function. So inside I'm giving the list, and the list multiplied by the length of the list, every value. So it will give you a size of a single value, so we need to multiply it to our length of the list. And uh, and for the array you can get like dot size. This is a numpy array, no? So it contains the parameters like size multiplied by the each and every item size. So item size. So if I print this, you can see that, so it differ between the list and the arrange, sorry, array, numpy array. So that means it is consuming more memory space. The list is consuming more memory space, but the array is less memory size. And if you want to compute the performance, like I will import another library called time. So I'm going to add two lists here and compute the time taken by the list to add those numbers. And first I will assign a size here. So for the size I will create a list. I will create two lists. So I want to start the timer. So first I will start the timer, time dot time. And now I need to add those two list. So how you can add the two list? It's a result variable, and here you need to give a list, and inside this you can have like x plus y. So the x and y are the values inside the li1 and list 1 and list 2. So for the x and y I will give the value from the li1 and li2. So zip is nothing but like a function will extract values from the list to list. So first it will give you the first value from the two list and assign it to x and y. So we will adding the x and y. So after adding that, we need to print the time taken by the list to add the two list. So like end time, end minus start. So time dot time now after the time dot time now is after the computing the result. The start is first first we started the timer, and after computing what is the time. So and we will subtract the end minus start, so to get the time taken by the list. And also we will compute the time for array. So you can copy this, or else we can copy this and put here. And for adding those two arrays, it is very simple. So I will create another array. Sorry, say a comma b, a b should be the size, and to add the two arrays, that is very simple. You can a plus b, like put a plus b, it will add those two arrays. But in a list we need to add like this. So like adding those values and zipping the list. So it is very convenient. Array is very convenient. And let's run this. So it is like taking I will increase the size, and also we need to add this millisecond, and we can multiply it to 1000. Multiply it to 1000. So it is like the list is taking 57.9 milliseconds, but the array is taking 3 milliseconds. If I increase the amount of size, you can see the change in the time. So it is like the list is taking 5 seconds, and the array is taking 720 milliseconds. That's it. So this is the time consumption of list and the array. So you can use array for calculations. So, and now we will see. So let me create an array, two-dimensional array. So we got the array. So what I'm going to do is, how you can find the dimension of the array. So it is very simple. You can put ar dot ndim, so n dimensional. So it will give you the dimension of the array. So that is two dimensional. If you want to get the shape of the array, shape is nothing but how many columns and how many rows are there in our array. So for that you can put dot shape, will give you the shape. So you can see here, so 2 rows 5 columns. And if you want to find the type of the array, like what is the type of the values are inside in the array. You can put ar dot d type, data type. So the data type inside the array is integer 32-bit. So okay, and now we will see slicing. Slicing are nothing but like in this array we are just extracting a value from this array, so that is a subset of this array. So how you can create that? So that is very simple. Like list in Python we can use square brackets. So after the array name you can put square brackets. Inside the square brackets you need to give the index. Index value is the location of a particular value. So it's like 2 here. So how you can get the value of 2 here using the index. So now the array is two dimensional. So if that is two dimensional, you need to give two values. One is the row and another one is the column. Yes, 0 comma 1 like so. That means we have two rows here. So index starts from 0 in Python. So the first item is 0 and the second item is 1. Like inside this also the first is 0. From this 0 1 2 3 4 it will come. So now what is the row here? So the index of this item, that is 0, and comma we need to give the column. So column of index of the 2. So inside this item, that is 0 1. So that is why I am giving 0 comma 1 here. And then if you want to find like from 1 to 0 for all the rows, I want the first indexed element. We can give 0 colon. After this colon also we can give values, that is a stop value. But if you don't give the stop value, it will uh, give you all the rows. Let me take another row here. If you give 0 colon, it will take from 0 to all the rows. Now from all the rows we are taking the first element. So first element means first indexed element. So 2 2 will come, 7 will come, and 12 will come. So let's run this. So you can see here, so 2 7 12. If I put 2 here, so what it will do, it will get the items from 0 to 2. But in Python it will not take the last value. So it will not take the 2. So 2 minus 1. So it will take from 0 and 1. So now it will have the like 2 and 7. It's because it is taking this item and this item, but it's not taking this item. It's because the index of this item, that is 2. So it is ignoring the last value. And like the row, and also we can slice the columns. So you can put one column. If I put one column 3, so it will get from 1 to 3. So this item will come here like this, all the these two rows and these three columns. So you can see here, oh, it is not taking the last one. So like I said before, so it is taking 1 and 2. So 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Okay, this is slicing of array. And now we will see the arithmetical operators using the array, like adding, subtraction, division, multiplication, like that. So let me create another array. This have two array we have. So if you want to add the two arrays, AR plus AR2, array 1 and array 2, it will give you a third array. So the array are the sum of the elements, like 1 plus 1 2, so 2 here, and 2 plus 2 4, 3 plus 3 6, 4 plus 4 8, and 5 plus 5 10. Like this it is adding the each and every element with the uh, uh, next array. And also you can subtract. So that is 0 is because 1 minus 1 0, 2 minus 1 0. And you can also multiply. So that is multiply 1 into 1 1, 2 into 2 4, 3 into 3 9, like that. You can also divide, dividing, so that is 1. Okay. And if you do this for list, it will do this for plus operation in that list. What it will do, it will concat those lists. But in array it is not concatenating those list. Sorry, array concatenation is nothing but uh, adding the values uh, in the list to another list. You can concat the two arrays using np dot. And concatenation in array is called stacking. So stacking has two types. One is vertical stacking and another one is horizontal stacking. So we will see the first vertical stacking. V stack, V stack, and in that V stack we can give two arrays, array 1 and array 2. Okay, sorry, it is not coming. Okay, sorry, that means we need to give the two arrays inside the tuple AR comma AR2. Just put the two arrays inside an parenthesis. That's it. So vertical stacking is nothing but like this is the first array and it is adding the another array vertically, this vertical stack. And horizontally we can sorry, H stack is for horizontal stacking. So 1 2 3 4 5 and 1 2 3 4 5, it is adding those values horizontally. 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5. So we covered stacking. And we will see some functions in the NumPy, special functions, that is like exponential and log and cos, sine. We have, if you want to find the exponential, you can put np dot. uh, Sorry, so exponential of array 1, that means it is like e power the value, so e power 1 and e power 2, e power 3. So e power 1 is 2.7. That means uh, the value of e is 2.7. Like, and also we can compute log. Log is the default log, that is log base e, but you can use the log base 10 also. I'm computing log for array 2. So that's log, and you can also have log base 10. It's log base 10. And also we have special functions, that is cos, sine, tan, sorry, cos, cos, cos of array 1. So the cos of array 1. And also we have sine, np dot sine array 2, sine values of array 2. And we have tan of array 1. This is the tan value of array 1. These are the special functions in NumPy. Okay. Okay. I will tell one more time the NumPy uses. So NumPy is a library in Python that is for numerical Python that will work on NumPy arrays. That is array. You can say array is the matrix. So you can use n-dimensional array, and in that array we can have multi-dimensional, one-dimensional, two-dimensional. To make an array, you can just put np.array, and inside the list you can give the values. If you want to make two-dimensional array, you can give in the values inside the parentheses. So, and array is very faster than list, and less memory uses. Okay, now we will see matplotlib. Matplotlib library in Python. So Matplotlib library is used for visualizing the data. So let's say if you have a bunch of data, I will show you some example. So if I show you this data, you understand it? No. If you put a graphs for this data, you will understand easily. So that's why we will create some graphs using the data. So in Python we have so many libraries for graphing. Uh, the basic library is Matplotlib. So for importing the Matplotlib, you can type import matplotlib dot pyplot alias plt. And in Matplotlib we have functions used for creating graphs, like a line chart and bar chart, histogram, pie chart, scatter plot. So let's see some basic uh, graph. So to make a graph, make a plot, you can just put plt dot plot. In that plot function, first you need to give the x value. The matplotlib uses only the two-dimensional graphs, so it takes x and y. So let me give 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 and some values. So this function plot will create the plot, and we need to show the plot. That is very simple. Show, and that's it. If you run this, you can find a plot. It is very basic plot. We are not labeled the x-axis and y-axis also, and we can give a title for the graph. So we will see that. So if you want to label the x-axis using that plt dot x label, so in that text label we can give a value x axis. Oh, okay. And another for labeling the y axis, y label. To give title for the plot, you can give the title here, basic plot. So you can see here we are labeled the x-axis and y-axis, and we gave a name for title for our plot. And also you can style your plot. This is basic one. You can give some styles like you can color, uh, give color for the line. Let's see, I'm giving the green, g green. And also you can change the width of the line. So you can put line width, you can give 5. So you can see that. So the line color is changed to green, and with this 5. And you can also label this line. Why we are labeling this line, I will show you that. So let's say I'm having a 2 lines. I'm copying this 2, and I'm changing values for this. uh, Now this line the color blue, and let's run this. If you have 2 lines, let's say, and which line is represent this which data, we can label the line. Let's say line 1. You can give the line 2. To show the name in your plot, you can use a function called legend, sorry, legend. So in the top you can see here uh, that the names of the lines. Okay, now it's look pretty. So it's a basic plot, line plot. And also you can make a bar graph and histogram. So to do that, you can have without this plot, put bar and bar here. So that's not line width. So let me tell you what is the bar graph is. So bar chart is the graph which will plot a graph like the qualitative data, like categorical data. So it will plot some integer with the categorical data. You can give a categorical data also, like Can give mark 1, mark 2, mark 3, and mark 4. So I will remove this one, marks. Now I can't label that. Say you can give the subjects, let's say. Okay, let's say Tamil, English, maths, science. So for label the x-axis, you can give subject, and y-axis is mark. Title we can change it to bar plot. So let's run this. So now we can see here. So it puts a graph, the categorical data and the numerical data. So the subject and the mark. Okay. Uh, and for histogram, I will do like a equal to, I will create a list of values. So let's take this list as well. And we need to give a bins here. I will tell you that what is bins. What 10, 20, 30, 40, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, sorry, 100. So to make a histogram plot, you can just put hist here, and you need to give the x and y. This is a comma bins. So histogram plot is a plot which will uh, create a graph in that quantitative data. So quantitative data is a numerical one. So you can see here our histogram. So in histogram, the lines will be, uh, it can be uh, okay. It is near, the bars are near to each and every bars. That's why it is showing this. So if I change the value 50, say 70, 80, 90. So now you can see that. So this is the histogram plot. And also we have another plot like scatter plot. Scatter plot we will use for understanding the linear relationship between the two variables. So to create a scatter plot, you can just put scatter and so the scatter plot usually will put some dots in that plot. So you can see that the values are linear, like it is showing in the line. So and also scatter plot will we can understand the spread of the data, our data is spread at. Let's see another example for that. Let's say I'm having a random numbers, random dot randint of 100 from 100. So I will do same for the B. Okay, from where to where? From 1 to 100. So now you can see that how our data is spread at. So that's why we use scatter plot. Okay, now another plot we have called pie chart. For pie chart we will see the same example used in the bar chart. So pie chart used for understanding uh, particular data to the whole data. So let's say if you have a marks here. Okay, and the subjects here. So to create a pie chart, you can use plt dot pie. So in that pie, you need to give the values first, the values, and you can give the labels for the value. Let's say if you have 69 value, for the value of 69, the label is Tamil. So like that, you can give label equal to sub that list, and to show that plt dot show, sorry, labels I think. So you can see here, so English, Tamil, Science, Maths, but the value is not showing you to. So to show the value, we have another parameter called autopact. In autopact, what we'll give, we will give a percentile and dot 1f. I will tell you that why is it. So dot 1 is nothing but after the point how many decimal we want. So 1 decimal we want, and it will show you the percentage also. So if I run this, it will show the values of each and every cells, so the percentages of each and every cells. It's the pie chart, and this is all about matplotlib. Now we will move on to the pandas library. So that is very important library, pandas. So pandas is used for manipulating the data and analyzing the data. So let's import the pandas. So you can use the pandas to create a data frames. So how we can create a data frame? Let's say variable df, and here pd dot data frame. Data frame is the two-dimensional. So like the NumPy, in the pandas uses uh, inside that inside the pandas it uses NumPy matplotlib, and for data frame it has rows and columns. To create a data frame you need to give a dictionary. In that dictionary you will give some name and the column name and the values for the column. Let's see if you have the uh, marks here, and for the label marks, the column name marks, in that column what values we have. Okay, for, and we can create another column, that is subject, subjects, and you can give the subject's name. So that's created the data frame. Let's print the data frame, how it look like. So this is how our data frame is look like. So like it has four rows and two columns. The column names are marks and the subjects. And these data frames also have uh, so first we will see some operations for data frame. So in that data frame you can also slice the data frame, so like the NumPy, but it has some functions like head of 2. So what it will do, head, it will get two columns in the from the beginning. From the top it will give you two columns, so two rows, and you have another like tail will give you, let's say, how many rows you want from the last. So from the end it gives you two rows, and from the top it give head will give you two rows from the top. Okay, and also you can uh, get the data from particular columns. Like if you want the columns, the values of the marks, you can do like df and put a brackets, square brackets. Inside the square brackets you can give the uh, column name. If you do this, it gives you the values 80, 60, 70, 50. And also if you don't want square brackets and the column name, and you can also directly get from the uh, data frame dot marks. So if you put dot marks also, it will give you the same. Okay. And now the operations of data frames like merging, joining, these all things. So if you, let's see the merging first. Merging, and now we can give multiple different values. This time the marks will difference, sorry, different value. So now first the marks is different, the second marks is different, but the subjects are the same. So now we are going to merge the two data frames. Let's say df2 here. To merge the data frame, you can use like pd dot merge. In that merge, you will give the two data frames, df1 and df2, on. So now you can see here, like an on parameter, what it will do, from based on which column I need to merge. So on subjects, I need to merge. So like we have a common things here, so subjects are common here. So on the subject, so I am merging. So we can have multiple marks here. So it will put different columns here, so marks x and marks y. So that means we have a different marks with the same subjects. So that is merging. And let's say if you want to add another column, let's say I'm adding another column here. So for joining, you can use pd.join. So I'm joining the two data frames. So now what it will do, it will add some more data, like in the numpy we saw, numpy array concatenation. Like that, it will add those two data frames. Sorry, you need to have multiple different values here. So for that, I will different subjects I will give. One is computer science and physics. Okay. I think we need to give index as well. So joining is it's not joining. Why? No. So no problem. We will continue that. So and another for use of pandas is munging. Munging means converting one file format to another file format. But here I have some files. Let's say I'm reading a file. So let's say data. And for read some files, you can have read. You can read the data from multiple file sources: report, CSV, Excel. We have multiple files: JSON, HTML. So now I will read from CSV. So let's say what data? Let's say we have iris data here. So we read at the iris data. If you run this, it will create a data frame for the data iris data. So the data inside the file is looks like this. It has 5 columns and all the data we have. So we are created a data frame using the file CSV file. Now we can also export the data frame into many formats like data dot. It's not. So we have a two. Uh, let's say we can convert that to data dot to HTML iris dot HTML. So it will save the file in the in this. So we have this file iris.html. If we open this, you can see here it converts the CSV file into an HTML file. So let's open the HTML file and see what is how it's look like. Iris.html is opening in the browser. So you can see here it is converted that data frame into HTML code, and that is look like this. So it's a table of data. So this is how you can convert one file format to another file format using the pandas. And also in pandas we have a function called plot. It will plot our data, whatever data we have, it will plot. So now you can show the plot. So this the plot is look like from the data frame. Not I'm not creating any so like not this one. So plt.py or not. I'm creating a plot from the data frame. So pandas data frame. So it has a plot function. If you put the plot here, it will create a plot for the data frame, and plt.show, so to show the data. uh, so it's like it has a legend here, and all the datas it's plotted. It's automatically created the plot. And you can also define what kind of plot we want. So this is the basic plot, line plot, but you can also change the kind of the plot. This, let's say scatter. If I change it to scatter, oh what, why scatter, we need to give x and y here. X equal to, let's say, let's say the sepal length, and y is class. No, x is, this is y and this is x. So now it's created plot with a sepal width and sepal length. And also, if you want to separate those categories, you can use another parameter, that is hue. You can give the category names. Oh, it's not there, I think. Okay, I think you can create a bar chart. Okay, I don't want. So it's, oh my god. Okay, for different kind of plots you can create using the kind equal to whatever graph type you can give here. So another thing I want to tell you, that is, if you have a data frame, let's say the data, I want, for analyzing the data, we will separate those data now. So let's say I want the class iris setosa. For every setosa flower, I want the sepal length. How you can extract the uh, whatever details you want, requirements, you can extract the data from the data frame. How you can do that? Let's say I'm creating a sepal length. Okay, setosa sepal length, let's say setosa. I need all the sepal length of the setosa type. So all the sepal length of setosa type. So for that we have a function called lock and ilock we have. So lock is basically the type of labels, can extract from the labels. Say if you want data dot lock, that data dot lock, I want the class should be equal to the iris setosa. The class should be iris setosa. And after this data, it will give you all this data, like sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal width of iris setosa. but in from there I want only the sepal length, or else you can. Now let's print the setosa sepal length. So you can see here now. So this is the sepal length of the setosa flower. Like this, for your requirement, you can just extract the data from the data frame using the lock method. And another we have the ilock. Ilock is nothing but index location. This is the location which we use for labels. So it has labels, but in index location we will use for positions. So if you want to give the particular position of the values, say I will do the same thing but using the ilock. So let me remove this all, and now I'm using ilock. But in ilock we need to give two values. One is the rows and the columns. What are the rows and what are the columns you want? But in iris you can see here the first this is the first column. Sepal length is the first column. The index is 0. Now for iris setosa sepal length, how many are there? From 0, not 1 to here 1 to 50, not 51, 50. So index location, first we need to give the rows from 1 to 51. If you give 51, it will give you from 50. So now we want from the what column? That is 0 column. This many rows and this many column. This column, it will give you the same one as we used in the log. Okay. Okay, it's not. I think it is from 0. I think 0 to 50. Okay. Okay, now it is correct. So okay, it's the same thing. The two is same. This is the lock and ilock. Okay. So from this we can end this session. Any doubts you can ask.
Any doubts you have in this matplotlib, Seaborn? Like, you have any doubts? Pandas, NumPy? Yes, Sharmila. Yeah, tell us, Sharmila.
Okay, at a time, for commenting multiple lines at a time, so let's select this how many lines you want to uh, comment, and control the tilt symbol.
Irfan, like, can you just open a notepad and can you put the doubt, copy and paste the doubt?
Okay,
So
okay.
it would be visible for us when we record. So when others hear, no, like, just copy that and paste it in a notepad.
for uh, for this the answer is control and the exclamatory symbol. So this is the answer. So for that you need to select this lines and put control and the exclamatory. It's not responding. Why? Spider is not responding. So that's it. You need to select these lines and press the control and exclamatory. It will comment these lines.
Any other doubts?
It's not responding.
No problem. Any other doubts you have? Others? Any doubts in today's topic? Yes. Irfan?
That's the difference between histogram and bar plots. And another question, iris.csv file is inbuilt or not. This is the file I have, but if you don't have the file, it's not problem. You can use to import this iris data. We have a library called Seaborn. In that Seaborn library, you can get the data. So just type this Seaborn dot load underscore data. In that you need to give iris. If you don't have the data, if you have the data, you can just use the read CSV file. And what is the difference between histo and bar chart is histogram uses a quantitative data. Quantitative data means that are numerical data. The x and y are it can be numerical. But in the bar chart, you can use categorical data, that is qualitative data. That qualitative data what we have, we can have categorical data and numerical data. So we are just plotting the graphs between the numerical and the categorical data. And both they look like same, but it is the difference between the type of the variables. So I will close it. Okay. So any doubts? Any other doubts?
Any doubts? Please ask. We'll give like 10 seconds time. If there is any doubts, please raise your hands or please speak to us. We are here to clear you the doubts. Okay, there is no doubts, I guess. So, let me share my screen. So, lots of people have joined late. So, we are bigdatahandson.com. As I mentioned yesterday, you can just choose Meetup uploads here in our site, and you can go to Meetup videos, and you can check for the session. Yesterday's session's video is available here. You can just check it out, that session here, and yesterday's video, that is part 1, part 2 is here, and today part 3 will be uploaded. So likewise, no, you can you'll just have lots of whatever updates daily happening would be shared in this group in our website. So if you want to just join our member inside our WhatsApp group, then you can type us this number 978928424. And also here if you see um, like I have updated the chat part, like inside our chat, like I have pinged you. Okay, no problem. So tomorrow, no, let me just give the um, chat part here. So you can, so if you want, no, like you can join in our group. Like, so this is our group. So you can just join in our group if you need. So I'm just copying this link and I'm pasting it over here in our chat. Yeah, I have pasted that group link here. If you want to know, if you are interested, you can join, and also you can also share it to your friends. So it would also be useful for them, so they also can join the group, and they can also make use of these sessions and the free sessions. And also if you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, so whatever thing, no, like it will get displayed here, that is in our bigdatahandson.com channel. So you can see our videos here as well. So you can directly also go here and see our videos as well. So if you want, no, you can subscribe to our channel, and also you can click on the like button if you are interested. If you want to, if there is any comments, please mention dislike, and you can provide your comments as well in our YouTube channel. Like you can see our courses here. So that's it for the today's session, and we shall meet up tomorrow exactly at 6:30 a.m. Thank you all. Thank you for all people who have attended this session. Thank you.